and m- more started.
Okay. Welcome to Podcast of the Beholder. I am Bill
I'm Chuck Hoskins.
with my good buddy. Awesome.
What's up, my friend? Good to see you. It's been too
So,
long.
brother, it's good to see you.
Yeah, been,
Exactly.
been catching up
Yeah,
a little bit off camera here, but it's nice to be back on here, and we got something really cool to talk about today.
I know, right?
I'll tell
Yeah.
you how I knew the box set was coming eventually, and I was on a Kiss page, and people were complaining about the Kiss unmasked vinyl, how you have to buy it like in a set where you have to buy a T-shirt and stuff. And somebody was like, "Oh, and look at Metallica over there dropping 1,800 minutes worth of uh, content for just a little bit more." And I was like, excuse me." So I flew over to Metallica, and
Hmm.
boy, was I excited! How excited was you when you found out that it was coming?
Oh, dude, I was ecstatic, man. How did I find out? Actually, I think I was on a YouTube video somewhere and saw it or something, and somebody mentioned it or something other, and I was like, huh, what? And I was like, so I skedaddled over to the Metallica website, and lo and behold, there it's at.
Now, and we kind of touched on this briefly, and I said let's stop and wait for the recording. Load came out in '96. So, what do you think the process of doing it at 29 is? I have an idea. I just want to see what yours is.
I really don't know, man, to be honest with you, because I was expecting it to drop next year.
After thinking about it, just after we were talking about it a few minutes ago, load was 96, reload was 97, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so maybe they thought let's do it halfway through 95. That way they have a year and a half to 2 years to do the load and not have the such a quick turnaround. So drop one of them a little bit early, since it had been so long since the black one. I'm total speculation, but by dropping this one in 2025, they have until 2027 to get that reload one ready.
Yeah. Um, but I would not be surprised if it's not already just about ready.
Um, I had
Because
heard
if I'm
some. Go ahead.
Well, at one time there here, I think it was back when they released I think it was the Black album, when they were asking for people if they had photos and stuff from the area of the load and reload era or whatever, because they were going to, I guess, use them for like the box set or something. So I mean, at least they may have like some of that. I don't know. Maybe they are getting ready to do it or something. I don't know.
Um, this was a really cool time as far as CD singles were still a pretty big thing at this era. I think both Load and Reload had three or four each, with some of them had like Fuel had like three different versions. And off the top of my head, I can't remember which one's which, but there was a lot of extra content and stuff going on. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of cool stuff. And I don't have the list in front of me. I try not to look at the content too much and spoil it. I know I was pretty blind going into the black one, and I liked how surprised I was when I opened everything up and didn't know every song and every set list and everything. How are you on that? Do you like to
Yeah.
know a little bit about what's going on, or do you like total surprise?
Well, I like to be surprised, but I also want to know if I feel like I'm getting my money's worth too. So like, it's kind of like, if because I just wanted to see like how many vinyl and stuff was going to be in there and stuff like that. Like as far as like content and stuff, it really didn't. I just wanted to see what all was coming in,
Yeah,
like if they were going to try to top the Black Album or whatever.
it's man. The have you heard? And I didn't ask you this on purpose. Have you heard the "Until It Sleeps" remix lyric video that's on YouTube?
Yeah, I actually listened to that. I think this morning. I think's when it was.
Okay, I could hear a little bit of clearer. It makes me excited to hear, and
Yeah,
I don't know whether you noticed the CD jump from one CD to two, and that's why they put the Outlaw Torn extra minute in there. They was able to do that. Are you surprised that they did that on the regular release and not like as one of the B sides, or what's your thoughts on that?
Hold on for a second. I know there's so the actual CD release is going to be a 2 disc. It's going to be a
Yeah,
2 disc release.
I
Well, I
thought
know
that's
they was
what
doing
I've
a two
seen.
disc and a 3 disc. I think I know there's a 3 disc one coming out.
Yeah, I know. I thought I saw there's a three disc one that's got uh their formula for those have been disc one is the album, disc two is like the remaster or
Yeah,
the demos, and then a third one is like a
yeah,
mix of the live stuff. So I wonder
yeah.
if the three disc version doesn't have the extra minute in there. I'm
I
curious.
I don't know. Yeah, I would have to look that up because I didn't know. I was thinking that the CD was just a 1 disc version because I was sitting there thinking like, how in the world they gonna put that on there when it's already like 78 minutes? But maybe I
Yeah,
didn't. Maybe I didn't look at it close enough. As
that's. I thought for sure I'd seen that, and that they had went with two disc on the regular version. So well, it'll be nice to find out. Um,
uh,
were you
yeah,
surprised?
you might be right. I mean,
Um,
was
were you
I surprised at what?
are you surprised that Mama Said is a picture disc?
Yeah, kinda. I was actually hoping it was going to be the Thorn. I mean, not. I mean, the Outlaw Torn.
Was that wasn't a single though, was it?
What's that? No, I don't think it was. Well, they
The
could have.
singles,
They could have did a side too and done like.
yeah, I think the singles were Until It Sleeps, and you had King Nothing, Hero of the Day, and was Ain't My Bitch was the single? No, and Mama Said.
No,
Forget-
Mama. Yeah, I think that was 4 singles.
Yeah, that was a four. Yeah. Um. So we uh to talk about the content a little bit more. You have a live show from I seen it was Lollapalooza, one of the Lollapalooza shows, right?
Yeah,
And that's going to be three vinyl. The load itself is two, and then the vinyl single, and then there was several CDs. That's my favorite is the live stuff.
yeah,
What I usually listen
yeah.
to the demos and the interviews once, but man, that live stuff. And what's really great about this one, and I'd like to hear your thoughts about it, is there's a lot of for the first five box sets. A lot of that stuff was circulating. Like there's several Justice tours out there, but there's not a lot of reload stuff. So how do you feel about this new stuff hitting? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know because that's one of the things I was actually thinking about was because when you think about that whole era, like of the whole load era, there was just not like a. It was like I don't know if they didn't like trust doing like live stuff and like putting it out as far as like DVD or whatever, or However, but and I'll be honest, I don't think there's a lot of load content or reload content out there either. But
Well,
I just think like that whole
the cunning stunts is from the load, but they actually play fuel.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
And the fuel actually has a few. It's got different words to it at that point still. And what's
yeah, it
funny
was.
about
I think it was like a working version.
what's interesting about this time is you had some of the earlier shows where I think one of the first ones that they did was 2x4, and that's I seen where that's going to be on the set. And but they also did Devil's Dance before Reload was even out.
Yeah,
And if you watch, I love Cunning Stunts. They actually have like a jam before So What, and it's a Bad Seed. So it's interesting to see what those live shows are going to have as far as when we get the some of those Reload songs early, like they did, or how that's going to go. I'm so excited, and the set list at that time was very cool.
yeah. Mm.
Um,
Yeah, it to me, man, like I've always said, man, Load is like one of my favorite albums by Metallica. And like I said, man, I'm just stoked just to see what it's gonna, what this stuff's gonna have on it, man, because I'm just eager to hear some of this stuff.
and hey, hold on just a second.
Okay.
And I don't I know I haven't shared this with you, and I don't think we have. Look at this beauty.
Oh, nice.
That is a 3 LP bootleg from the Cunning Stunt Show. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I seen that. I'm like, I gotta have that. That's one of my
I didn't
favorite
know that.
shows out there.
I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it's bootleg. It's out there. You gotta find it.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So yeah. So I know we talked about off camera. Did you decide what else you're gonna get from the store? Are you gonna get like a shirt or a cassette or anything?
Well, I pre-ordered the box set and I got the cassette. I'm thinking about grabbing the CD and the vinyl because my load vinyl is getting pretty beat up, man. It's I've had that probably since the original time it was released on vinyl. And so I'm thinking about getting another vinyl version of it and maybe the CD.
So are you not buying the full box set?
Yeah, yeah. I pre-ordered the box set and I pre-ordered the cassette, but I'm thinking about um just having like a standalone version of the
Oh,
CD and the
okay.
vinyl so I don't have to go into the box set all the time.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I was like, that comes with it. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. I was confused at first. Um, yeah, I'm so excited to hear that live stuff, and we're getting to a point now, 96, 95 era, where the equipment to record is starting to get top notch. So from here on out, the DVD quality is going to be amazing,
Yeah.
which is cool. And yeah, I'm so glad to see this coming. I can't wait for Load and Reload, but I hate that the Saint Anger one's so far away because I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that.
I
Are they
know,
really
right?
going to make us
Here's a
wait nine
question
more
I have
years?
to ask you though.
Go ahead.
I doubt that. So do you think that Garage Inc. will just get a remaster like the 598 EP, or do you actually think it'll get a box set version with that? And is that really
You know,
considered a studio album, even though it's an album of covers?
me and my buddy Chris was discussing that just a couple days ago because I think it could get a whole box set because you've got the EP and Garage Inc., which is two full albums. But they've almost got a full album with Ramon stuff and like what's the Where a Blind Man Cries, and there's been so much of that all within my hands acoustic stuff. There's a 10 or so songs that they've done by other artists that have never been released. I mean, you could buy them on like the Metallica live stuff, but there's a lot of really good songs out there acoustic that they wouldn't even have to go in stuff just ready to go.
Yeah.
And the New York show that was on MTV the night it was released, that's the DVD ready to go right now. If they have the rights, I'm not sure. I hope so.
Yeah. That's a wow. Are there guys? Chuck there for a second. He should be back.
Hello? Okay. You there?
Welcome back.
I'm not sure what happened, brother.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So
I don't either.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do. If they don't do the box set, will there be a Garage Days 2? I don't see them just sitting on that. I hope they do that. Or are they going to save all those 5 Ramones songs for the St. Anger box set?
That's a good question.
Now, see, to me, the St. Anger box set is the one I'm looking the most forward to because you got those Presidio tapes of all that unreleased stuff that they have, and to finally get maybe a final release of those Ramones songs. So they could do anything they want, really. But yeah, I hope I love the garage stuff.
Yeah.
So they could easily do
Yep.
it. And I'm not sure if there's a lot of
And
demos and stuff. Go ahead, buddy.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I tell you something. If they throw in if they do like the Saint Anger box set, one thing I do hope they throw in there is that Raiders Fallout show they did there when I think it was the Raiders made the AFC Championship game or something. They played the parking lot.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That
That was right before Rob joined the van.
Yeah, that was a side note about that is I had a buddy burn me a copy of that a long time ago. That was a part of the fan can from that era. There was a DVD and it was them playing the Raiders parking lot and they were playing with Bob Rock was the bass player. And then there was like 4 or 5 songs from like some really tiny bar they did and they did those Ramones covers there. But yeah, I would love for them to release that nationally because I mean, if you didn't get that fan can, you didn't get that stuff, and it's really cool footage.
Yeah.
And there was some really cool like with the where here we are supposed to be talking about load, but will they kind of put those songs that were on the that records or not the record club stuff on there? There's a lot of possibilities for all of them. And then once you hit
Yeah.
Hardwired and 72, there's the CDs of every single show, so they could basically, you know, put out whatever they want because there's thousands of content.
Yeah.
So
But don't they
yeah,
release a live thing for every show they do though now. So it's like,
Yeah, every one they do, they basically have it pre-ordered where you could order it, and then I don't know how many that they make before they run out, but
yeah,
there's several you can kind of I go through and pick and choose some of my favorites. Sometimes it's just I'll see something on eBay and I'll get it cheap or something when they play Fixer, it's like, oh yeah, I got to have that from the 40th anniversary show.
yeah.
So
Well, see, the thing that gets to those, like, what are they gonna be able to release as far as that stuff? Because if you've got all those shows and you can already get those, I mean, or like
that's
most of those box sets gonna be more like DVD and stuff.
that's where the curiosity comes in, or not everybody buys that stuff, so I'm curious to see how that's going to go. And one thing I would like to see them do is, I mean, and we've talked about this before in the past, like the Puppets box set is just crazy high. I would love for them to maybe, if they're
Yeah,
not going to remaster them, maybe go back and pick one album from each of the box sets that was only on CD and put that on vinyl, because that wouldn't take away the integrity of the box set, because it would still be in a CD exclusive. But that would be a cool thing to kind of
yeah,
get the interest going on those old shows.
yeah,
So that's something they could do
yeah.
also.
Well, see, I actually wish, yeah, I wish they would do another run of that Master of Puppets box set because if they did, I'd grab it.
See, I don't know how. I know they have their own record plant, but I don't know how hard that is. You would think, and they have a a business model like no other band. Believe me, I'm a Kiss fan, and they dropped the ball on so many things as far as, and Metallica is lucky that they have a good ownership of their catalog. They have a lot. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to go around a lot of legalities. But I don't know
Yeah,
how much effort that is, but you would think that they would go through and make like another 500 or a thousand of each of those, because the only one that's available on the website is the black
yeah,
one,
yep,
and the secondary markup for Master of Puppets right now is crazy. So
yeah.
yeah, I wish
It's
they would too, buddy.
beyond
There's a
crazy.
demand for it. There's definitely a demand for it, and if they didn't do all of them,
Yeah.
at least do puppets. And I'm curious
Yeah.
to see, as of right
You know
now.
something?
Go ahead, buddy.
Well, here's the one thing I wanted to say that I would like to see with maybe some of these box sets going forward. Like, I understand releasing the album in the original cover and everything, but what I would think would be cool, like, I wish when they brought out the Black Album box set was, if you go look in the book inside of there, the first concept of the actual Black Album, um, hold on for a second.
Oh, you're good.
Hey man, I'm doing a video right this minute. I'll call you back. You okay? That's all right, bud. No problem. But I wish they would have did where it showed in where the original concept was had like the red snake on the cover, and I wish they would have done like where you could see the actual Metallica better clear on the
Hmm.
cover, and then had like the red snake, which would have been really cool. Like and done it like the box set exclusive only, and that was the only way you could get it. Because when they did the 3DS version of the Black Album, the actual cover was a little bit different.
Yeah, it was. Well,
Yep.
I have no problem with anything like that, and I'd love that they put out different versions. Like, if you and I know some people are not don't love live music as much as some. So if you don't want to buy the whole box set, you can just get the album or CD or even cassette. I love that they give you options. Or if you just don't want to
Yeah.
spend all of
Yep.
it and just get some demos and some live, you can pay $18 or $19 or whatever and get the 3 disc version. I love that there's different tiers.
Yeah. Yep. Me too.
So that's a huge fan service they do. And if you're a streamer and you don't like, I'm not going to buy a CD because I don't even have a CD player. You can still buy a shirt. I love the options.
Yep. Oh
Like I
yeah.
said,
Yep.
unfortunately, Kiss just put out a unmasked box set, or not a unmasked picture disc, and you have to buy a shirt with it, and it cost almost $200, and they made just a handful, and they sold out, and everybody's bitching about it. Metallica, no
Yeah.
fans are bitching about this. Everybody's super psyched.
Yeah. Yep.
Now,
Here's the funny thing. I actually think this box set's going to open up the doors to a lot more people getting into this record that wasn't into this record before.
you know, the first four, of course, a lot of people consider the big ones, and the Black Album one is the most readily available on eBay. You can probably pick it up right now at about a 160 ish. So I'm wondering if how that's going to do compared to the old ones. Just because not everyone loves Load as much as I was reading the comments yesterday, and people's like, "Why would you remaster this? It's still going to be garbage." Which everybody's entitled. There's black and back fans. That's fine. I'm curious to see how it's going to
Yeah.
sell, and I hope it does.
Yeah.
I love the album. I love the era. You know, Looking back, I don't mind that they got haircuts. So I'm curious to see how it's going to
I don't
sell
either.
compared to the classics.
But I got a question for you though, and I know this is a load conversation, and we're kind of getting close to time here. But
Yeah.
what is it you think that the reason why the Black Album box set hasn't sold out like the rest of them?
Well, I wonder if there's it's that kill 'em all to justice mentality. Because there's different Metallica fans. You got the ones that say they died when Cliff died, and you got the ones that said Black, Black they kind of sold out a little bit, but Load and Beyond was garbage, which is fine. Or I picked them back up at Hard or
Yeah.
Death Magnetic. So there's tons of different types of fans out there. I'm curious. I don't know whether it's because I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know why did they make more of the black ones, or is it just
That could be
there's
it.
something there's some is there some appeal about those first 4 albums? If they made let's just use Megadeth as an instance. If they did this box sets for Megadeth, do you think that United Ambitions is going to sell like Countdown, or probably not?
But I wanted to say this, and I know some Megadeth fans would probably like blow their top when I say this, but actually Countdown to Distinction was Megadeth's version of the Black Album.
See, I thought that Cryptic was. I thought with
Well, no, not well. I just
I
think the way it sounds and how it's put together and all that stuff with and everything, just the popularity of that album. I kind of feel like I've always said like No More Tears is Ozzy's Black Album. Countdown Extinction is Megadeth's Black Album. There's some other bands out there that they have an album that you could kind of compare it to like Metallica's Black Album. I mean, it was the album that put them,
Sure.
in the mainstream, set them in the stratosphere. And it's just like, every band has like, it's still today, I think AC/DC is Back in Black. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's one of those things where every band has one, but it just, to me, it's like, but is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because like, here's the thing with the Black Album. The Black Album exposed Metallica to more people than the first 4 albums did. Because if you really
Sure.
kind of think about it, the first 4 albums were kind of more underground than they were, mainstream. Okay. When the Black Album come out, you had people converting to Metallica that were probably never metalheads. You know what I'm saying? That got into
Absolutely.
Metallica for the first time. So it was one of those things where it was like, you know, so I just think to me, maybe they made more because it's a more popular album,
That
and
could be.
they were, but I do think, yeah, and I do think, though, to me, I still think that there were a few things I kind of wish they would have put on there that they didn't. But
Such,
that's,
such as
but some of the stuff had probably already been released anyway. Yeah.
what was missing, you think?
Even though they did the vinyl version of the Moscow show, I would have loved to had like a DVD version of that.
Okay. Um,
Yep.
I wonder, since that was on pay-per-view, or was that was on like cable or like something. Maybe I know there used to be a VCR tape of, and I forget the name of what was the name of the concert? Was it For Those About to Rock?
Was it Monsters of Rock? I
There
think it
was
was Monsters of Rock, I think.
I think I just remember there being a video that had Pantera and them and AC/DC on it, and it was all three of them was on there. I
Yeah.
can't remember whether the Black Crows were on there or not, but it might be a rights issue with that. And also,
Yeah.
they never
Could
double
be too.
they never double dip a show. There's never a show that's on DVD that's
Yeah.
also on. So maybe it's just, even going back to the live
Yeah.
shit, you're going to get three different shows. We're not going to give you the same, you know. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
there's lots of stuff, and I did see that there's a TV CD of like all the appearances from the era. So I'm excited about that. I know there's a really cool acoustic version of Mama Said that's out there too. So
Nice. Yep.
so yeah, we're kind of at our
But
half hour point that we want to stay at. Go ahead. I could talk
yeah,
about
one
this
thing
for
I
two
did want to
hours.
say though, I did find out. I know, right? One thing I did find interesting though was when they put out the Black Album box set and they did that outtakes or whatever it was of the year and a half in the life of Metallica. If you
Mhm.
watch that one DVD when they were working on "Don't Tread on Me," you heard James says something about we're working on the title track. So I'm kind of wondering if that album was originally going to be called "Don't Tread on Me," but then they just changed it to made it just called it the self debut or what, or the self titled,
Yeah,
and it just
subtitles.
got dubbed the Black Album.
I remember that, and there's it's kind of, I love seeing that behind the scenes. I mean, and we could talk about Some Kind of Monster also. I think every album takes so many twists and
Yeah,
turns. There was a time in the first year and a half where Bob Rock was saying that Holier Than Thou should have been the lead single. So I think every album
yeah,
has,
yep,
should this be called this, different things. So
yeah,
yeah,
yep.
I mean, Don't Tread on Me wouldn't have been a bad album title. So
No,
this was a fun little video to talk about our hype and excitement of the box set. We got a little derailed, but that sometimes happens when you talk about Metallica. Before we get off of here, I wanted to
Exactly.
show you this. I went and seen a show a couple weekends ago. It was a tribute band. They were called Hardwired.
Oh, nice.
And after the show, the guy gave me the drumstick, and the guy gave me the pick at the end of the show too. But they were
Oh,
phenomenal. The
sweet.
set list that they did was just crazy, stupid, great. They actually did "Screaming Suicide" off the new album
Oh,
too.
nice.
Yeah, so it's
Sweet.
anytime you start a show with Blackened and
Yep.
you got heavy on Black. I think they did 5 Black
Yep.
songs, but they were great. But since we did this,
Nice.
we would like to announce we're definitely going to do a reaction once the box set comes out. Take us a couple of weeks to enjoy it and absorb it, and we'll do a kind of not of an unboxing, but a reaction. And I'd like to go back and finish the albums that we haven't done. So if you're watching this reaction video, we do have some old content, and we're going to put some more together. So check out our old content.
Exactly.
So
yeah, brother, man, it was good to do this again, man. It's been a long time,
yeah,
and yep.
we'll get back and finish the discography for sure. We got a
Yep.
lot to cover still.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for stopping in.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yep. All right, y'all have a good one.